Hi everyone, I'm Ofalanga and welcome you all in Grammar in Detail. If you are new and not subscribed the channel, so please subscribe the channel, press the bell icon and to get some more videos about grammar. We have completed half of our milestone and we have reached at the mid of our ditransitive verb topic. Some of them are remaining and after that we will be having the next activity and that is known as parts of speech. Before starting this, today we will be discussing the ditransitive verb offer, how we are going to change it from active voice into passive voice. Now, starting before the ditransitive verb offer, we will just put a glance on the definition of ditransitive verbs. Di and d, you can pronounce it both. Di means to, transitive which can be changed into passive voice, and verb which shows an action. So those verbs which need two objects, this should be in your mind, and can be changed in passive voice into four ways. We can change them into passive voice in how many ways? Four ways, are called the di or ditransitive verbs. We have already discussed some of them and today we will be discussing the ditransitive verb offer. Keep in your mind they need one direct object and one indirect object. What do we mean by the direct object? Direct object means all non-livings. Whatever the non-livings we have, those are known as the direct speech, the direct object, and whatever the livings we have, those are called the indirect object. So all non-living are called direct and all living are called indirect. Today we will discuss why do they need two objects. As I have been talking with my previous lectures that they need two objects, one direct and one indirect. Why? If you put one of them, the meaning won't be clear and understandable. Suppose I say he offers me. Now see, a question arises, what does he offer me? And if I say he offers a good salary. Now again a question arises, whom does he offer a good salary? So for that you need to bring the indirect and direct object together in order to complete the meaning of the verb offer. Suppose I say he offers me a good salary. So this is what over there it is giving now clear and complete sense that he offers me what? A good salary. He offers a good salary to whom? To me. That is known as the ditransitive verb with two objects, one indirect and then one direct. Mostly we bring the indirect object at the beginning and direct object at the end. But if you want to shuffle the places of the objects, if you want to bring the direct object at the beginning, keep in your mind indirect object will be followed by a preposition. Like I say he offers a good salary to me. So that is the second way to change it into passive voice, where your indirect object will be followed by a preposition. Main target, how we are going to change it from active voice into passive voice, that we will be discussing. Today we have got the ditransitive verb offer with the modal auxiliary verb shall. As a helping verb it is removed, it is not used nowadays, but as modal auxiliary verb it is used with all subjects, even with you as well. Clear? Now the first way in active voice, in simple sentences which make the simple statement, you shall offer him a job, you shall offer a job to him. As I told you in previous slide that we bring indirect object at the beginning and direct object at the end. But if you want to bring the direct object at the beginning, so your indirect object will be followed by a preposition. Now our main target, how we are going to change it from active voice into passive voice, that we will be discussing. Keep in your mind in active voice and passive voice we have already studied the rules, that rules of changing active voice into passive voice. When keep in your minds your subject, doer of an action, takes the place of object, there it will be called agent. Now here whatever by you have in your sentences, they will be called agent. And when you bring the subject, the object in the place of subject, whether indirect object or the direct object, like indirect object becomes E in the place of subject, and direct object a job. So over here they are no doubt called subject, but keep in your mind they are not called the doer of an action subject, but they are called the title and topic subject. And what is the definition of title and topic subject? A person, place or a thing in a sentence which we are talking about. In first and second sentence we are talking about a person. In third and fourth sentence we are talking about a thing, you could say. Yes, so that is called the title or topic subject. And keep in your mind, when you bring the indirect object in the place of subject like E, so by you comes at the beginning, a job at the end. In second way, then a job at the beginning, by you at the end. And in third and fourth sentence, when you bring the direct object, so in the place of subject, so by you comes at the beginning, to him at the end. Then in the fourth way, to him at the beginning, by you at the end. Sentences will be as followed: E shall be offered by you a job. E shall be offered a job by you. A job shall be offered by you to him. A job shall be offered to him by you. Next we have got negative sentences. What are negative sentences? Those sentences in which we deny the statement, reject the statement, and refuse the statement. Like I say, you shall not offer him a job. You shall not offer a job to him. Now in passive voice there are four ways. He shall not be offered by you a job. He shall not be offered a job by you. A job shall not be offered by you to him. A job shall not be offered to him by you. Next we have got interrogative sentences. Those sentences in which we ask question and put queries are called interrogative sentences. Shall you offer him a job? Shall you offer a job to him? Shall he be offered by you a job? Shall he be offered a job by you? Shall a job be offered by you to him? And shall a job be offered to him by you? Next we have got interrogative negative formal sentences. What are interrogative negative formal sentences? Those sentences in which we ask questions, put queries, and in which we ask question and deny the statement, and we ask them in a formal way, polite way, respective way. We use it with our elders, seniors, and to whom you are not close with. You will be using the formal sentences. Shall you not offer him a job? Shall you not offer a job to him? Shall he not be offered by you a job? Shall he not be offered a job by you? Shall a job not be offered by you to him? Shall a job not be offered to him by you? Next we have got the informal, which is the opposite of formal. Informal sentences are those sentences in which we ask question, deny the statement, and we ask them in an informal way. In a friendly atmosphere, we use it with juniors and youngers, and with whom you are close with that person you will be using. Shall not form is shan't. Shan't you offer him a job? Shan't you offer a job to him? Shan't he be offered by you a job? Shan't he be offered a job by you? Shan't a job be offered by you to him? Shan't a job be offered to him by you? So these are the sentences of modal ditransitive verb offer in modal auxiliary verb shall. Hope you got today's lecture. Wish you best of luck. See you next time with next lecture. Goodbye.